Good evening. Welcome to Sound Off Buncombe. My name is Richard Bernier, and to my far left is Randy Thomas.
Hello.
And in the middle here is a candidate for the Congress in the 11th District, Dr. Carl Mumpower. Thank you for coming, Dr. Mumpower.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, you made news this week, Dr. Mumpower. You decided to run for Congress.
Yes, I have.
And could you tell the folks out there what prompted you to make a decision to go up to Washington, D.C. and endure all this stuff that you may have to go through?
Well, Richard, it wasn't, first off, it wasn't a decision I made easily. It's not a toy or a prize or a statue. It's a pretty demanding responsibility. So I've been wrestling with myself, trying to get my mind, body, spirit, and the head and the rest of me all in the same place. And when I did that and asked myself, am I ready, I made the decision. I actually decided on Monday, 9/11 had other, should have been devoted to other things, so I announced Wednesday.
I understand. Well, it's a big sacrifice in just the running of the candidacy to make it number one through the primary and then hopefully through the fall term.
Yes.
Well, how's your wife feel about you taking this on?
My wife is a gracious lady, but it's a demanding thing, and I think she has mixed feelings about it. But she doesn't. She's not one of the me people. She doesn't think just about herself. This really isn't about her, and it's not about me. It's about more important things, and so she's behind me, and I'm lucky to have her.
So when you're running for Congress, kind of tell the folks out there some of the issues that you see that the current Congress needs to kind of work on, and that you would like to bring to the
Fellas, am I in the right direction here?
that camera over here to the left.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I apologize for the. Okay, well let's use a metaphor, if I may, and I want to say something more to why I'm running for Congress. Western North Carolina is a conservative district. I believe that we should have a conservative in office. I believe that we should have an authentic conservative in office. Now, the current Congressman Schuler, is a nice guy, and you're going to hear me say that all along, and I mean it. I think he is. But Congressman Schuler is not a conservative. You're defined not by what you call yourself, by your voting record. And if you look closely and fairly at his record, Congressman Schuler is a liberal, a Democrat. I'm a conservative and a Republican. And I believe that we should have a conservative Republican in that seat. That said, I want the best man to win. I want the most principle-driven person in Western North Carolina to win. I don't mind if other people step up. I actually encourage other people, if they've earned their keep, step into it. If you think you can stay the course, step into it. Anybody I run against is going to make me smarter and stronger, and I need to be smarter and stronger. I've got a pretty good journey ahead of me, and I'm going to take it through right to the end. Now, back to your next question. I had the opportunity to go out with the fireman, the fire chief, to Swannanoa to observe how they train our firemen, and I was surprised. They have a building out there they set on fire, and a large, like similar to a large two-story house, maybe three. And I learned something that day I didn't know, and that is that firemen go to the source of the fire. I always think, you stand outside and squirt water in, but they don't do that. They go in the building and they find out where the fire started and go for it. That's what I believe. That gave me really a metaphor for my own personal belief about how you approach politics. You go after essential issues. Washington stands on the outside and squirts water on the building and pretends they're doing something. And I don't mean that in a mean-spirited way. I mean it very as an accurate statement of fact. You cannot name an essential issue that Washington is effective with. They dodge. Here are some of the essential issues for me. Illegal immigration. It's absolutely absurd for us to allow our borders to be porous like they are. And all this about it being terribly complicated and sorry we can't fix this. The only thing complicated is how you unravel that conspiracy that's going on between the Democrat and Republican Party about how to maintain cheap labor for one party, Republicans, and mascots for another party, Democrats. And I think that's highly corrupt and something I want to challenge. There are lots of issues. We've got in between our teachers and our students and our doctors and their patients, our bureaucrats, lawyers, government, just about everybody you can think of, and we need to get those people out of the way. I'll give you a real good case, to me, a good case in point. I can't believe the people that are pointing to Canada and England, France, even Cuba as a model of how to fix our healthcare problems. They're having a terrible time with healthcare. They can't afford what they're providing. They have waiting lists. People don't have control over their own destiny, so to speak, in terms of their health care. That's not a model we want to duplicate. And unfortunately, in this country, we've tried to kind of do a mixture of both. We have a socialistic, free enterprise medical care system. That doesn't work. That's an animal built by committee. We need to be using what works for us. We are famous for our free enterprise system, and it works if we let it happen. And a lot of people don't know this, but at the turn of the last century, we had more physicians per capita in America than we have now. You had free enterprise working then. We've over-regulated, over-controlled, and I'm going to say something kind of bold here. I think when you look at the protocols that occur for most of your medical issues, 90% of what we have wrong with us could be covered at Walmart under the care of a physician assistant or a nurse practitioner or somebody with a 2 or 4 year degree. You don't have to go to school 12 years to take care of most of the problems we have. But we have to get those people out between. The same thing with teachers and students. We've disenfranchised parents and students from their teachers with bureaucracy. And those are a few examples of where I think Congress sidesteps important issues, the way we approach taxation, the pork barrel, the use of pork. Basically, Washington is a rigged lottery, and I have no intentions when I go there of participating in a rigged lottery passively. I'm going to confront it within the means of my ability, and I'm going to say something else here too, not arrogantly at all. I've served on Asheville City Council for 6 years. It's not been easy. I wouldn't describe it as fun. It's an honor, but it's a responsibility. I've treated it very seriously. And if you can do it in this arena, you can do it, I believe, anywhere as a conservative. I've been pretty consistently, once I lost my good buddy Joe Dunn, who is an authentic conservative, pretty consistently on my own. And the only difference between Asheville, North Carolina and Washington essentially is it's a bigger arena. Now there's some variables to consider, but when you look at how you avoid corruption, when you look at how you stay principled, when you look at how you stay on target and what matters and doesn't, it's not that much different. And I intend to go up there and attack the essential issues.
Well, that sounds so good, Dr. Mumpower.
Now challenge me, fellas.
Well,
don't give me an easy pass.
Well, we're not giving you an easy pass, but I do want to say, the professionalism that you showed on city council, being a very minority, and I'm talking a very minority, you have stood up and you have brought out the concerns of the conservative at the best of your ability, and I want to commend you on that. If you do, and I think you will get elected, I hate to see you leave the city council.